Hello, welcome to the channel Tarot Yogi. I'm Vinit, and today we have another timeless pickacard reading on what makes you beautiful. And before we begin today's reading, I do have to announce I will be offering my tarot course starting 15th of May, my witchcraft course starting 3rd of July, and my astrology course that I finished today. Again, I will be teaching it on 3rd of October. And do join if you are a beginner to an intermediate student. You can join tarot, witchcraft, astrology. You can join all three or two or one of them, how many ever courses you would like to join, but do join them because if you want to be a witch, you need to know your tarot and your astrology, So I do offer all the courses now, and I have taught all of them, and I just finished teaching my astrology course today finally. So, I feel very confident about teaching, and I do think I will be teaching for a while, but do make the most of me teaching because I don't know how long I'll keep doing it. So do make the most of the fact that I'm actually teaching, and the courses are, I would say they're very decently priced right now. In fact, a few witches told me that not to increase my witchcraft course rates, and I'm going to be very respectful and I'm not going to increase the rates right now. So do make the most of me teaching this time around because I might increase the rates next time. And yeah, you can also hit me up if you want a personal reading from me. I will very happily read your birth chart also as a part of the personal reading. And please do like the video for me, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times. It really makes a huge difference. And thank you so much for all the love, all the lovely sweet comments. I feel super grateful that I get to share my spiritual journey with you guys. So thank you for being a part of it. And now we have 3 piles to choose from for today's reading on what makes you beautiful. First we have pile number 1, the Notoria Tarot. Pile number 2, we have the Ethereal Blooms Tarot. And pile number 3, we have our Goisha Tarot. So take a minute, see what pile is being called to you intuitively. The description box below will have the timestamp for your pile. And again, remember, these are general readings. Take what resonates, leave the rest. If you like my style of reading, do like the video, share, subscribe, comment. Do hype the video for me 3 times. If you're interested in learning witchcraft, tarot, astrology, if you want a personal reading, hit me up and I'll see you guys in your reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 1. If you chose the Notoria Tarot, this is a reading on what makes you beautiful. And even before we begin today's reading, I do want to announce I will be offering my tarot course starting 15th of May, my witchcraft course starting 3rd of July, and my astrology course starting 3rd of October. So if you're interested in learning either of the arts from me, you're really welcome to come learn, join. It's going to be really amazing. I've gotten really good at teaching, so come make the most of it. I promise you, you will be really happy. And you can also hit me up if you want a personal reading from me. I will happily read your birth chart as a part of the personal reading. And please do like the video for me, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times. It really makes a huge difference. And thank you so much for all the love, all the lovely sweet comments, all the donations. You guys are just simply the most wonderful, and I feel super grateful that I get to share my journey with you guys. So thank you for being a part of it. And now let's begin this reading on what makes you beautiful. We have the Knight of Cups, we have the 10 of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands. Well, we do have the Knight of Wands, so there's something very arousing about you, pile number 1. There is something that really brings out the wild beast in people, especially in men. They really bring out that masculine nature within them out when they see you. So you trigger something very masculine in people. They want to protect you. But at the same time, you're not, I'm not seeing you to be very weak. I'm seeing you to be very strong. In fact, you are like this angel carrying the lamb. You're not the lamb. You're the angel carrying the lamb. That's how I'm seeing you, pile number 1. So you're extremely hardworking. You are extremely angelic. You're really, really beautiful and very hardworking at the same time. You go after things that you want and you make it happen for yourself and you get what you want. You also work really good under pressure. and you follow your heart, you follow your intuition. And yes, you're burdened by a lot of things. There are a lot of things weighing on you, but it doesn't show on your face. You look very beautiful, very elegant, very glamorous. So you look very, very attractive, despite of, you really carrying the torch. You're trailblazing right now, pile number 1. That's what I'm seeing. And this is adding to your glow. It's adding to your radiance. It's adding to your beauty. People are very, very mesmerized by you, pile number 1. The World card. Saturn. You could have very prominent cheekbones, a very chiseled jawline, very, very attractive. A very attractive, symmetrical face. And Saturn gives people very, very beautiful faces. You could even have weakness in your bones. You might feel that. So strengthen your bones. Work with Saturn. Strengthen your bones more. Pile number 1. That's the message I'm getting for you. Queen of Wands. You're very confident. You're also very, very witchy. You know how to cast a glamour on people. And you do it really well. Even, I think you could have a getting ready ritual. You could have a ritualistic way of getting ready, and that itself is magic, You're putting on your glamour, and you do it really well. People fall in love with you straight away. People fall in love with you, pile number 1. There's deep attraction. People want to make you theirs, but they immediately feel heartbroken because they feel that you might be taken, you might have a boyfriend, or you're just simply unavailable. So people sort of break their own hearts by, going on that mental journey themselves and coming to conclusions. 8 of Swords, yeah, they overthink so much, and they want to have that happily ever after with you. Might I say they want to have a child with you? They want to put a baby in you, pile number 1. That's what I'm seeing. I think you become more beautiful after every transformation you go through. You go through a lot of transformations, and with every transformation you realize how truly connected we all are. Even with all our flaws, pile number 1. We are very fallible beings, and yet you're able to see the beauty in everyone, even the people who have hurt you. You are like the flower of life itself. There's something very regenerative about you. And often you are the bridge that connects everyone, even if you might not be the most social person, pile number 1. You can be an ambivert when you need to be, which is also an amazing skill you have. And that's how people see you. People see you as someone who has a repository of skills. And I was just speaking about transformations, and we got the Death card, so I'm very bang on with what I'm saying. You do go through these very extreme transformations. You could have Scorpio in the 7th house. Scorpio could definitely be very transformational in terms of your relationships. Yeah, Tower. It's almost like a sigh of relief people feel when they see you, because they know they will be delivered from all their sins. There's just something very purifying about you, like a purifying fire. That's how I would describe you, pile number 1. That's what your energy feels like to me. Queen of Swords. You are sweet, but not too sweet. You know how to put your boundaries. You know how to cut people off when you need to. And I think you're extremely loving with people, and you'll tolerate a lot. But once people cross all boundaries, all bets are just off. You're just over it, and you put your boundary and you don't take people back. So that is also a very cruel part of your nature, but it is a very beautiful part of your nature nonetheless, and it is needed. And I think you have the wonderful ability to just wait. You can bide your time. And you hide your power and you bide your time. That's what you do. And you're always listening. You're always listening to the divine, pile number one. You always have your one eye open and your one ear open to the heavens. And I do think you get a lot of divine downloads. And I'm using the angel deck for you, so you're very, very connected to the angelic realms. And the angels, they very much guide you. But you know, angels can also be mischievous. So be mindful working with angels too. Yeah, we got Michael now, Ace of Wands. And again, this purifying fire, that's what I feel. That's the energy you have. It is sort of like this purifying fire that you breathe. And there's something very exclusive about you. You know, people feel that if you're single, they have to snatch you up because you will not be single for too long. That's just a feeling people get from you. Because I had ordered this deck when it wasn't available on mass market through a seller in Eastern Europe. And I do buy a lot of decks from people in Eastern Europe, you know. So it's really sweet. And you know, I got my deck in a month, so it made me really happy. And then later, you know, I saw it on Amazon after 2 years, but I don't feel bad for spending more money because, you know, it was a heartfelt purchase. And as a Taurus, that's what makes me really, really happy. And that's how people feel with you, that no matter how much time is spent away from you, you know, even being with you for a minute would feel so heavenly. And you see this demon that Michael has, you know, defeated. That's how people feel. They just want to be submissive at your feet and they want to give you all the power. The beautiful angel that you are, pile number one. So that's how you make people feel. And you give people hope, you know, you give people hope after they go through something very, very extreme. And I don't think people just meet you happenstance, you know. I think people only meet you when they're going through a very big change in their life. And it is up to them to take you as a very big change in their lives and take you as a blessing. And if they don't take you as a blessing, you know, they learn the hard way. So I think people who have let you go, I don't think none of them are happy. And they do regret letting you go. But that was the test and they failed. So you don't have to take these people back, pile number one. Yeah, Page of Swords. They're definitely keeping an eye out on you, your loser exes. They definitely are very busy. And I'm hearing that a lot of your exes have new partners, but they're fighting their new partners and still keeping an eye out on you. So, you know, it's some messy get. You know. So we'll leave it to that. We'll pull some zodiacal oracle and see if I missed anything. Wow, we got the Scorpio card for you, which is the Passion card. So Jyeshta prominent, Anuradha prominent, Vishakha prominent in your birth chart. You could have something at 2 degrees of Scorpio, but could be opposing Algol and Taurus at 2 degrees. You could have a very voluptuous body. You definitely have a fuller frame. That's very, very attractive to people. There's just something very seductive about you. I think a lot of people try to visualize you without clothes. There's just a lot of passion over here. People just want to ravish you up. They just want to eat you up. And I don't know why is this Scorpion looking so beefy? So you know, you could be really well built over here if you're a guy. Aquarius. Yeah, when people meet you, they feel like you're someone like they have never met anyone like you. And your energy is very healing because Aquarius has a very healing energy. You could have Shatabishta prominent in your birth chart. Even Dhanishta in the Aquarius portion. People feel you really, quench their thirst. And they see you like this hunky water bearer, descending from the heavens. And Shatabishta is a Rahu ruled nakshatra, so a lot of illusions and obsession. People definitely have a lot of obsession with you. Pile number 1. Venus. You could have Venus in Shatabishta, D1, T9. But I think a lot of lessons even for you are around learning to love and learning to experience the pleasures of the world. And I just feel like you will be eventually having a business of your own. I really see that for you, pile number 1. Like having a brand for yourself, but you are also the brand. That's what I'm seeing. Focus more on learning. The more you learn, the better you will be. Yeah. You're meant to lead. You're definitely meant to lead, pile number 1. And yeah, that's all I have. Again, it's general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. If you like my style of reading, do like the video, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times. If you're interested in learning tarot, witchcraft, astrology, send me an email. If you want a personal reading, hit me up, and I'll see you guys in the next reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 2. If you chose the Ethereal Blooms Tarot, this is your reading on what makes you beautiful. And even before we begin today's reading, I do want to announce I will be offering my tarot course starting 15th of May, my witchcraft course starting 3rd of July, and my astrology course starting 3rd of October. So if you're interested in learning either of the arts from me, send me an email or hit me up on my Instagram to get more details. You can do the same if you want a personal reading from me. And I would very happily read your birth chart as a part of the personal reading. And please do like the video for me, share, subscribe, comment. Please hype the video for me 3 times. It really makes a huge difference. And thank you so much for all the love, all the lovely sweet comments, all the donations. I really appreciate all the love and the support you guys pour into me, and I feel super grateful that I get to share my journey with you guys. So thank you for being a part of it. And now let's begin this reading on what makes you beautiful. So we have the 4 of Wands, 3 of Wands, the Fool, and we have Judgment. Strong Sagittarius energy. You could have Purva Ashada placements, nakshatra wise, which is the middle decan of Pabalsag or Sagittarius. There's something very harmonious about your beauty. And 4 of Wands is also Venus in Aries. You could have Venus in Aries or Venus in the 1st house. So you're very, very beautiful. People do notice your beauty. Very attractive. Venus in the 1st house, people are extremely charming and they have just the best personality. There's just something about you that people cannot take their eyes off of you. It's your beautiful face, it's your beautiful eyes. It's the symmetry and it's the harmony. And it's not just this physical harmony. It's like your soul is harmonious at all times. You are very zen at all times. Pile number 2. It's like, I've seen a lot of comments where people ask me, how am I so calm all the time? Or how am I so zen all the time? And I honestly don't, I used to not have an answer for it, but I do have an answer for it now. And I think it is also the fact that I have a very well-placed moon in Taurus in the 1st house, which with Venus. So it really balances me out emotionally, mentally, and even if I go through extreme things, I've always kept my calm and my composure most of the time. So, you could be a Taurus moon like me. Or if you do have an afflicted moon, definitely try to work on it, try to do some remedies, try to calm your mind. That is very, very important. But for a lot of y'all, I do see a lot of y'all have a Taurus moon like me. In fact, I would say your moon could be in Rohini more than Kritaka. So, very well balanced you are in all aspects of your life, and it's this inner harmony that people crave when they look at you, because it's sort of lacking within them. And I'm assuming these are more Martian people, that are more on the extreme. So, people are definitely attracted to you for all kinds of reasons, pile number 2. We have the Judgment and we have the Fool. You could look very, very young for your age. You definitely don't look like your age, pile number 2. And, it's really flattering when you go out and they ask you for your ID and, you're way older. So, that definitely happens with you, I see. Yeah, a lot of people want to be your lover. A lot of people want to be your lover. Because Venus in Aries is also, even though Venus is debilitated in Aries, it does really well in Aries, because even though Mars and Venus are enemies, they're also lovers first, So it's the energy of the lover. And people confuse that, people think Venus is the wife. Venus is not the wife. Venus never wanted to be the wife. Venus wanted to have multiple lovers. And in the Babylonian stories, she would be very vengeful if you did not, requite her love. And that's why a lot of kings would not, give her the love. But that also happened because there was a shift from, praying to Venus to praying to the solar gods. And, the ancients, they prayed more to Venus, and they prayed to the stellar forces. They prayed to the stars itself, the firmament, not the sun. And what I've read is the Babylonians and the Egyptians, they would start their day after the sun would set because it would be so hot in the desert. And, they would end their day when the sun would come out. And Saturn in the sky showed them the time. So Saturn was the black sun. So you could have a prominent Saturn placement for sure. Or you could be a little witchy like me and work in the night. Or maybe you are more predisposed to working in the night. But you definitely have a connection to the night, and you will be able to find deep answers for yourself. You could also be connected to the Middle East in some way, or you could have had a past life there for sure. You definitely feel a pull to that region, I feel. 3 of Wands. Yeah. I think you will sort of, eventually when you get older, I see you traveling to a lot of places where you had a past life. And you might actually be able to recount your past lives, pile number 2. So you definitely have that mediumship ability within you. And we got 9 of Pentacles, which again, reiterates the fact that you're very self-harmonious. And when you're so harmonious within yourself at all times, you generate abundance. Right? 9 of Pentacles, she's sort of like the mini Empress of the minor arcana. So you're really well-to-do and you're really, really independent. You don't need someone to love you. You do love yourself enough, for 2 people. Yet everyone wants to love you for this very reason, pile number 2. And I know the self-love has not come easy. I think you've had to go through a lot of difficult relationships. You could even have Rahu in the 5th house or Rahu in Leo. I think love has always been super explosive, but very, very enlightening for you. But you take what you learn and you make the opposites work, and you make the opposites work really, really well, where the things that are supposed to rip you apart, they actually benefit you. You're sort of a magician of sorts. You do have that magical ability to, sort of have an antidote to a venom that is given to you, and you turn it to an elixir that, helps you at the end of the day. So you're really good at doing things like that, because You listen to your heart and you listen to your intuition, and you let it sort of guide the way. You just fill the room with so much joy. It's honestly just your energy. It is all this deep alchemical work you have done. You know, you are a very enlightened soul, and people are very charmed when they see you for the first time, when they meet you for the first time. More than you know, Pailamba, more than you realize. And it's 8 minutes on the timer, so 8 number could be significant for you, and it could also be like your birthday. You could be born on the 8th, but it is, and 8 also symbolizes repetition. It is also the number of Saturn. So Saturn could be definitely your planet. And we have the High Priestess, so again, it's your intuition, and you see she's meditating with the flower under the full moon in the night. That's what you need to do, Pailamba. You have to awaken to your magical abilities. And let me tell you, you will have extra problems. You will have more problems than an average person if you are a witch, if you are a magician, because you have to awaken to your abilities. Right? Like, I'm just seeing Harry in my mind. Like, you know, Harry was badly treated by his foster parents, you know. So that was sort of like the germination ground for him to go be a wizard. So it's sort of like that for you, Pailamba too. Life has been super difficult. Saturn could be in the 4th house, or Saturn could be in Cancer, or Saturn could be aspecting the 4th house or the sign of Cancer for you. I definitely see a very difficult relationship with your mother. And while I'm saying that, you know, there's a black doggo, and she's just come here. And you know, when I just came to record in the car, there were like 7 dogs in a line just waiting to be fed. And I will feed them. But you know, they're just so cute because they expect food from me every night now. And I do try to feed them as much as I can. It's just trying to feed so many dogs together is a bit of a nightmare, because they all start fighting and they all start biting each other and they start showing their teeth, and that's when I'm like, okay, I'm out. You know, but I still feed them every day because I do have grown very, very attached to them, and I do think all of them are my dogs, even though they're not, you know. So that's how people feel about you. You know, people just love you even if you're not theirs, and they think that, you know, you are theirs. Yeah, people want to comment mine under your posts. That's what I'm seeing. People also feel you're like a distant star, you know, you're a little out of reach. You know, I think you could be doing really well for yourself, and you've definitely had a glow up, and I think you'll have even a bigger glow up. So, you know, if people are missing out, they really are missing out. And it's not just that, you know, I think the divine loves you. We got the Hierophant. Bro, God loves you. What more do you want? You know, what more do you want? So, you're always sorted, no matter the case, no matter the situation. And that's what you need to recognize about yourself. Yeah, 6 of Swords. Even if you're going through difficult times, you know they're not going to last forever. And you're still breathing. But there's always more beauty that comes out of all these difficult transitions that you go through. So I think right now, 6 months from now, all my readings are timeless. Your life will look very, very different. And the things that you're experiencing right now, you will not experience forever. Your life will change, Pailamba 2, for the better. And I'm sort of seeing a spider on this card, even though there isn't one. So focus on the things that you're creating right now. There's a lot of emphasis on what you're making for yourself and how you are a big part of the picture. So understand where you stand in all of it, because that will unlock more powers for you. Also, we got the 4 of Swords, so maybe learn to rest. And I shouldn't be saying this to you because, yeah, I get it. You know, when you want to work, you just get into the zone of overworking and you just can't stop, but it leads to burnout and you keep pushing and you keep working more. So I wouldn't be too strict on you, rest when you can. I get it. Work is work. And I really respect you for that. And I think a lot of people also respect you for just your work ethic and how hard you work. Because if there's something attractive, to me, it is when someone is very, very hardworking. Even if they don't always get to, the results, but the hard work to me is really, really hard whenever I see it. And consistency. Consistency is so hard. We don't talk enough about how hard being consistent with things is. Right, pile number 2. So keep showing up for yourself. It's definitely paying off, and people are noticing. And I sort of think, you haven't completely evolved. You're sort of in the middle of your evolution again. And the evolutionary journey never truly ends. You have to keep evolving. You have to keep evolving. So that's what you need to do. Yeah, magician. I told you, you are a magician. And I gave you the Harry Potter example. So yes, situations had to be bad. So you realize your power. So you better realize it soon. And make things happen. Because there's a lot that needs to happen from your end, pile number 2. There's a lot you can make happen. Don't underestimate yourself. Don't think you're too small. Ooh, we got the Leo for you. And we got Sagittarius. And we got Aries. We got all the fire signs. And did I not say all the fire signs for you? So fire signs are very, very prominent over here. Confidence, high energy, expansion, all these themes. Work with the fire energy right now. You could be a pyromancer of sorts. You're a fire mage. You're a firebender, pile number 2. So what will you create from your fires is the real question. But your prominent placements could be in either of the fire signs: Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising. And this is what you need to embody right now. Really, really well. In a way, you have to also burn up your karma. And people keep asking me, how do we reduce our karma, or how do we burn through our karma? Be on your best behavior, yes. That is one way. The second way is just to burn through it and not make more mistakes, not make the same mistakes again, not hurt people again. And I do think you are majorly burning through your karma right now. It is intense. But you are like riding the beast over here. This reminds me of Goddess Babylon, which is the lust card in Crowley's Thoth. So you could have a connection to Crowley in some way, or Thoth Tarot. Or like an Egyptian, Babylonian past life, definitely you've had. Definitely feel very, very connected to that era for you. Big transformations through fire. Beautiful. We also got Scorpio for you. This is crazy. There is so much fire energy. So burn through it. Burn through all of it, pile number 2, and create more and sustain your fire. That's what you're here to learn. You are a master. And I think you will get more beautiful, more glowing. The more you burn in the heat yourself. The pressure and the heat creates the diamonds. The most flawless ones. And you are one of those, pile number 2. That's what you need to remember about yourself. Yeah. That's all I have. Again, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, see the rest of you. Like my style of reading, do like the video, share, subscribe, comment. Please have the video for me 3 times. Again, if you're interested in learning tarot, astrology, witchcraft, send me an email. If you want a personal reading, hit me up, and I'll see you guys in the next reading. Thank you. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose the Koisha Tarot, this is your reading on what makes you beautiful. And even before we begin this reading, I do want to announce that I will be offering my tarot course starting 15th of May, my witchcraft course starting 3rd of July, and my astrology course starting 3rd of October. So if you're interested in learning either of the arts from me, send me an email or hit me up on my Instagram to get more details. You can do the same if you want a personal reading from me. I will very happily read your birth chart as a part of the personal reading. And please hype the video for me. It really makes a huge difference and helps me with the engagement. And thank you so much for all the love, all the lovely sweet comments, all the donations. I genuinely appreciate all the love, and I feel super grateful that I get to share my spiritual journey with you guys. So thank you for being a part of it. And now let's begin this reading on what makes you beautiful. And you know, the deck was just jumping out of my hand already, so I'm sure it has something to tell us. And might I say, you know, you did choose the Goisha Tarot, so you could belong to the Asur Kand like me, you know. And it's funny because most people, when I tell them I'm a Taurus, they think that I'm Rohini. But I sadly don't have any Rohini placements, but I have a lot of Kritika placements. So you could have a lot of Kritika placements like me. But you definitely have an Asuric Nakshatra that you're born under. And this makes you very, very special because you become an agent for change. Pile number 3. You are an agent for change, and you experience extremes, you experience a lot of difficulties, and you go through deep transformations. And with that, you usher in the change. And I feel you're really ahead of the curve, and you're very intuitive with trends, with fashions, with just everything. And you know what's going to happen, and you know what's going to, you know, happen next. And I really feel you're ahead of the curve. And sometimes I feel you're so ahead of the curve that you're often misunderstood. But that is the most beautiful thing about you. You know, you're here to break the status quo, and you're here to have that very rebellious energy and do what nobody is doing. You know, you're really here to pioneer some cool and engineer cool stuff that no one has done before. And the cards for you, we've gotten is 10 of Wands and 4 of Pentacles. Yes, exactly. You know, these difficult energies. You know how to make do with almost nothing. If I took everything away from you right now, you would still thrive. And that's a testament of your power and who you are and your beauty. And you handle difficult situations really, really well. You do really well under some very painful situations, might I say. You could have prominent Leo placements, which is Magha, Purva Falguni and Uttar Falguni. But I'm getting more Uttar Falguni placements for you. So you really are a hard worker. Pile number 3, mind you. You do the hard work. You do a lot of hard work. More than people give you credit for. But regardless, you are royal. You have that very regal energy to you. And you're very smart. You're very efficient with your resources. You know how to make more from what you have. And people see you as the star. People really, really see you as the star. And you know, here she's doing rituals out in the night in the park. So maybe that's what you need to do. You need to do a bit of your rituals outside. I feel the cards are saying that it would enhance your energy. Might I say, a lot of y'all might even work with the goetic spirits. You know, to each is their own. I'm no one to say anything to you. So, I mean, I'm using this deck, obviously, but I don't necessarily work with them. But you know, I'm friends with demons, some of them. So you could have that. You know, you definitely have a bit of a dark side to you, but you use it for the good. You use it for the light, like me. Pile number 3. Page of Cups, 5 of Cups. It's again this power that you have. You know, you're extra sensitive. You could have a Moon-Venus conjunction, or a Venus-Mercury conjunction, or a Venus-Mercury-Moon conjunction, or a Jupiter-Venus conjunction. And you have this ability to sort of resurrect yourself even after the most difficult experiences, even after the most painful experiences. You know how to bring yourself back to life. And you do that really, really well. And I feel your destiny will improve with time. And you're going to age really beautifully as well. I think the older you get, the more refined your beauty will get. Pile number 3. So you're only going to look better with age. And I think you already look really, really hot. We have Three of Pentacles, and here we have Moon in Aquarius. I think the zodiacal associations in this deck are different, because Three of Pentacles is Mars in Dhanishta, Mars in Capricorn. So you either could have a Moon in Aquarius or a Mars in Capricorn in your birth chart. But regardless, we have this peacock energy. And that's what you are, and that's what you need to see yourself as. You have a very regal style. Again, peacocks are royal. They're royal birds. And these male birds, they're such divas. Right? Peacocks are such divas. And I love peacocks. They're just simply the best. They're the most beautiful. And makes sense. I said Kritika Nakshatra and we got a peacock. So, Kartikeya reference. Definitely. Connection over there. You do really well in difficult situations. You just, if things go to hell, pile number 3, one thing is assured is that you're going to be extremely glorious. And I think this is also happening because you could have strong Virgo placements or strong 6th house placements. So the more problems you are in, the better you will do. The more, even if you get yourself into problems, you'll always be able to dig yourself out of it, and your enemies will never thrive. You have that domination over your enemies. And might I say, eventually you might even make your enemies your friends. Even if your friends turn to enemies, your enemies can turn to friends. That's what I'm seeing. Pile number 3. You could have Ketu in Aquarius or Ketu in the 11th. You definitely have a very attractive body, very lean and muscular. Even if you're a woman, more on the leaner side. And if you're a guy, you definitely are packing. You could even have like abs and stuff. So very, very muscular. Or that's what you're aiming for, and you will have that body soon for a lot of y'all. So fit it to your situation wherever you fit on this. So your fitness journey will pay off. Just keep at it. You're a truth speaker. You say it how it is. And it's not just you say it how it is. You deliver messages the way they need to be delivered so people can truly be freed from their own delusions. So people can really be freed from their own delusions and things that keep them stuck. You free people from their own ignorance. And you do it with love. You do it with so much love. People definitely want to love on you. Even if you have something very forbidden about you. You might not be people's first choice. And even people might say that they might not like you in their friend group, but they think about you when they're alone. So you definitely have that dark, forbidden, mysterious, witchy, alternative vibe to yourself, pile number 3. And even if you are not the first pick or the mainstream pick, you are everyone's first pick regardless. You're everyone's unfiltered, uncensored first pick. So there's something very forbidden about you. Something very enchanting and alluring. Giving strong siren energy. That is something that is very, very beautiful about you. Getting strong Ashlesha. 6 of Wands, yeah, you're always victorious. And we have this demon called Lerahai. And he is an archer. Very beautiful. I do love this deck. And he's aiming in the dark. You could have very cutting words, because that's what I know about Lerahai. Your words can become like weapons when you work with him. But you're very calculated. Every misstep you can take into your calculation, and your predictions are usually very, very correct. Pile number 3. You're very, very psychic, like me. Strength. Yeah, I do think that is your biggest strength, more than you realize. Tower. Yeah, you handle, like I said, when things go to hell, you are on the throne. Might I say, pile number 3. You know how to work it. Page of Swords, yeah. See, the demon is working. I told you, you're on the throne, solving the problem, no matter how bad it gets. That's your superpower, and that's the most beautiful thing about you. And again, you are a shapeshifter. You're a deep, deep shapeshifter. You know exactly what you're doing. You know how to bring on what glamour, what charm, for who. You see how this demon has many, many faces. That's what you can do. You can shift faces. So you don't appear the same to two people, might I say, Pilometry. Definitely a high-level magician witch. People are exactly perceiving you how you want to be perceived by them, Pilometry. And this is Dantalion. And I think he's the demon of knowledge. And he can shapeshift his faces, depending on how he's manifesting for the magician. Definitely hot, regal energy. Yet a taboo energy. Something people want to own, something people want to covet, but they feel they can't. We got Jyeshtha and we got Mula. So you could have prominent placements at the end of Scorpio and the beginning of Sagittarius. And between Scorpio and Sagittarius, we have the constellation of Orpheus. And that is also a galactic center where we have the supermassive black hole. So you could have prominent placements here. And again, Jyeshtha and Mula are intense placements. You could even work with Ma Kali. You could have a connection to her. You could feel a pull towards her for sure. So definitely work with her. You could check out my Kali readings. You might have some messages there. And I just taught my astrology students today about Mula and Jyeshtha, and we just finished the course. So a sense of completeness people feel with you. People feel having you in their life would complete them. Even after all the losses that they have experienced, having you would be the win. Pile number 3. Having you would be the real win. You've gotten up after falling down over and over again. So there's an intensity to your energy, very, very magnetic. Your magnetism is off the charts. I can just feel it in the reading, pile number 3. You are the king. You are the queen. However you identify, you definitely are that, pile number 3. And you're meant to have your domain. There's meant to be this obsession, this intensity around you. You're meant to experience the dark and the light, both to the very extremes, to transcend them both. You're doing some high-level sorcery. And I think you're aware of what you're doing. Pile number 3. I can feel it. So, yeah. We got another Vishaka star, which is, I told you, strong Scorpio. Purpose. Star of purpose. And you have the bird's eye point of view. You know what's up. I don't have to tell you more. So I think you're only going to get more magnetic, more glamorous, more witchy, more attractive. You know. Your powers are also going to increase, and as a result will your beauty. Pile number 3. And I'm telling you, you're not going to age at all. Your aging is just going to stop. So please, you know, you can share your spells with me. Yeah, that's all I have. Again, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest of you. Like my style of reading, do like the video, share, subscribe, comment. Please have the video for me 3 times. If you're interested in learning tarot, witchcraft, astrology, if you're interested in getting a personal reading from me, hit me up and I'll see you guys in your next reading. Thank you.